50 years ago, Pamela came home to find her 3-year-old son lying in a pool of blood and her husband nowhere to be found. The police report showed that the child suffered multiple lacerations and head injuries. Although the child survived these horrific injuries, he tragically passed away at 8 years old from a choking accident. At the time of the injuries, Pamela's ex was charged with intent to kill, but her younger son, David, believes the police were looking at the wrong person the whole time. Pamela, were you involved in the beating of your 3-year-old son back in 1974?
No.
What happened that day?
It was just like any other day. I worked 11 to 7, and he was like 32, and I was like 17.
Oh, your husband?
Yes,
yeah.
And so...
Was the relationship between you and the guy bad?
Yes, well, it was bad. He would beat on me, but he would never touch the children. But he would say, if you don't, this is, you're going to be here and you're going to do what I tell you to do.
He was abusive to you?
Yes, yes, and for no reason. I worked every day. So what happened was I went to work that night, and I worked the graveyard shift. To work at 11 o'clock, got off 7 o'clock every morning so I could get home. The kids would always meet me at the door because Mom was home. It was time to get ready to go to school. And whenever the log truck was gone, when I pulled in the driveway, and I thought, well, maybe. And I thought, well, no, because it's a school day. And so then I thought, well, just maybe he just went to get some milk or something. I didn't know. So what I done was I went in the house. We had a little bitty trailer house. And I went running in the house, and looking for everybody, and realized that nobody was there. I didn't think. And then just as I got ready to go out the front door, something just told me something wasn't right. And so when you walked in the trailer, there was a little bedroom right here. And when I opened the door, my son Wayman back was turned to me. And all I could see was his corduroy coveralls he had on. And I said, Wayman, Wayman. And he didn't answer me. He did not answer me. And so I went over there and rolled him over. Oh my God, it was the worst. He was black and blue. There was blood all over the place and stuff. And it was just horrible. I just couldn't imagine what could have happened. And so I took him, and because there was a sheriff that lived right down the hill from where we live, and his wife was a nurse. She said, well, let's just go to the hospital. I said, no, we need to go to the cops. Somebody did this, something happened.
Well, your son needed medical treatment.
Right, but I wanted the cops to see what had happened. He was talking to me, he was just saying, Mom, and he was just hanging on to me. So he was conscious, he was talking, he wasn't unconscious, or I would have took him straight to the hospital.
Okay. Did the police go and arrest this guy?
Yes, but they also sent Wayne to the hospital after that for 2 days because he needed to go. And
what did they determine what his injuries were?
He was badly beaten and bruised all over his whole body and with all sorts of things. I don't know what happened. I mean, and
so they locked him up, right?
They locked him up. He was out in an hour on a $1,000 bond.
Well, and did he ever get convicted of this crime?
No, he did not.
Why not?
Because right after I found, after this happened, I just wanted to get my son away from it, and then I found out I was pregnant at the same time with this guy's baby.
So you left the state?
I left the state and went to Louisiana.
And so they were never able to charge him?
They charged him.
Charged him, but they couldn't do anything because you disappeared with the kids.
Right.
Because one kid and pregnant with the mother.
Because whenever he got
Do you think that was a good idea?
Well, whenever you get a call on your phone, whenever you're trying to gather the stuff whenever you're trying to go, and he goes, I'm going to kill you and Wayman both with a shotgun.
So you were in fear for your life?
Yes, I was, right?
Okay.
How could I have done anything
No,
if we were dead?
I understand. Now, your son received permanent damage from this abuse, right?
Yes, he did.
And how did that affect him?
He had seizures about every hour and a half. And then,
So this guy destroyed a healthy young boy.
Whenever they did the autopsy on him.
Was this his boy?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't like he did this to his own son.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, so maybe it was easier for him to do it because it wasn't his son.
It wasn't his son. And they said he would never be no smarter than a 12-year-old after the beating.
Now, he died at 8.
Yes.
How did he die?
Okay, what happened, that he was at school, and he was doing fine, and his regular teacher that took care of him every day and knew he had seizures and stuff like that, and knew what to do, took a trip to Africa. And so he had a substitute teacher. So the substitute teacher said that Wayman tried to stab her with a pair of those rounded scissors, you know. And I don't know what happened. They called me, I went to the school, and I said, prove to me that Wayman did this.
What happened to him?
So they ended up going, okay, we're going to have to put him in a mental hospital because he just tried to stab a teacher with a pair of scissors.
Okay.
And I'm going, no.
So what happened in the institution?
So while he was in the hospital, I dropped him off at 8 o'clock that morning. At 1 o'clock, I got a phone call that he choked. They said he choked to death on a baby carrot while he was in the hospital.
Okay. Did you ever abuse your son?
No.
Did you ever see this guy abusing your son?
No.
So you never saw your son get abused. You never abused him.
No.
And then David is Robert David's father?
No.
Oh, this is another child
Yeah,
by somebody else?
David was only 8 months old when Wayman died.
Oh, okay.
So David wasn't even born yet whenever this happened.
Okay. But David, how's your relationship with him?
Not very good because my mother and my whole family thinks that I'm the one that done it.
Why would your own mother and your own family think that you did it?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know.
You have no idea?
Yes, I have a lot. I have a lot of ideas.
Well, tell me one.
Okay, for one, she was sleeping with Robert. She was sleeping with him.
Your mom?
My mom was sleeping with him. I caught them. I caught them.
You caught them in bed?
I caught them in bed. That's how the end of my finger, like it snowed and started snowing.
When did you catch them? Before he did this to Wayman?
Right before he done it to Wayman.
So right before he did this to Wayman, you caught your mom sleeping with Robert?
Yes, I did.
And you stayed?
I've got 4 of the kids to take care of, plus my son. I didn't think he was going to beat him.
How many kids were yours biologically?
1.
Ron, is David the only one that feels this way about you?
No, none of my children talk to me.
How many more do you have?
6.
Okay. And none of them talk to you?
No, they'll talk. They used to talk to me, and whenever they were younger, but then as they got older, and all the lies kept going and kept going and kept going.
And they all choose to believe the lies.
And they all choose to believe the lies.
All 6 of them?
All 6 of them.
Okay, let's meet your son, David.
How could you even do that? How could you do that to a little boy? How could you do that to a little boy?
I did not do that to him.
Why did you drive him 30 miles to take him to the hospital? But you took him to the police station first while he was laying on the floor dying.
Because I wanted to make sure that they knew how long the bruises had been there, and so I wouldn't get accused of it.
That doesn't make any sense to me. You know all the beatings that I took because of your boyfriends? Do you remember those?
David,
do you remember the beatings?
David,
do you remember you knew I was getting beat?
No, I did not,
and you still didn't leave, just like you didn't leave when he was beating you. And after he slept with, you said you're just talk about my grandma like that? The one that raised me? She raised me.
I don't care if she raised you. She lied to you.
No, you were always gone.
No.
You were never home.
David, I was home.
Where was she?
Out driving a truck or chasing boys.
No, David, come on.
What do you mean? How many, Mom?
David, come on.
How many of your boyfriends beat my ass?
You tell me how many of them, because I don't know.
Every single one of them. And do you remember the time
Why didn't you call the law then?
Because I was like 5 or 7.
Wait.
The point is this.
He's a young kid, and you want him to call the police?
Why didn't you tell somebody at school what was going on?
Why didn't you do it?
No,
I didn't know what was going on.
No.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay. See, I'm going to just tell you right now, I got a lot of problems with everything you're saying, okay? You're telling me you didn't know any of these guys were beating your son?
That is not true.
He's lying?
Yes.
Why?
Because I would not watch
Your one son died from a beating.
I know it, but I would...
So you're telling me you don't believe that this guy got beat by one of the other losers you were dating?
They wouldn't do it around me.
So, okay. Why wouldn't they do it around you? Why wouldn't they do it?
Because after that, because I always would tell them, don't you lay a hand on my children.
Hey, did they ever leave bruises on you or marks?
There was one time that, I know I can't mention names, but
a guy,
right in front of her, he said, I will beat you up, and if you call the police on me, I'll beat you to death before the police get here. That's exactly what he said to me,
No.
right in
you
front
weren't
of her.
there? He's making it up.
David, that is not
Did she
true.
ever hit you?
I love you, David.
Did she ever hit
you? Don't
you?
need to do that, David.
David, did she ever hit you?
There were times that my mom would come in off the road, being gone for 4 or 5 weeks. She would come up to me and she'd say, David, come here. And I would say, what, Mom? And she'd say, I'm gonna whoop you so your grandma doesn't. And she would whoop my ass. And then her and my grandma would get into it and she would jump in her semi and leave.
Is he lying about that?
Yes.
You have all these kids. You don't have a relationship with any of them.
I did have a relationship with him
But
until
you don't.
1988.
You don't now. Why is that?
Because they were
The lies.
Because they were told the lies about Wayne.
So your kids believe everybody but Mom.
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right. You came here and you took a lie detector test. Did you at any time ever witness anyone cause injuries to your 3-year-old son, Wayman? You answered no. You did not tell the truth. Did you hit, strike, or punch your oldest son, Wayman, with force to cause bodily injuries? You answered no. You did not tell the truth. Did you flee the state because you were involved in the injuries and death?
Maybe I should do that to you.
No, back up.
But that would make me just as bad as you because you're a 70-year-old woman. Just like he was a 3-year-old boy.
Did you flee the state because you were involved in the injuries and death of your 3-year-old son? You answered no. You did not tell the truth. Do you really need a lie detector test for this story?
No way.
I said everything she was telling me, those things that she was saying made no sense, okay? You don't have to be a policeman or investigator to understand when something she's telling you doesn't make any sense, then it's not true. She's not telling the truth, okay? We don't need this to know that you are a liar. And this is the reason why you don't have a relationship with 6 of your kids. You probably did a lot of horrible over the years. You lied. You basically murdered your own son. And the whole thing about why you were so intent on going to the cops and not going to the hospital, you were more concerned about you getting off the hook to what you did to your son. You wanted to take all those pictures and tell that sheriff so they would paint the blame on
Robert
the other.
did not do this?
I think you did it.
I wasn't. I couldn't have done it.
Okay. I think maybe you did it together.
No.
You definitely covered up for him.
No.
Yeah. Yes. You did. You did.
They did an investigation until July the 4th.
I don't give a damn when they did it. You failed for hitting your son, watching him get beat, and you beat him. You did it.
You know, if I did that, I need to be punished.
Yeah. What do you want to say to your mother?
Don't ever darken my doorstep ever again.
Just so everybody watching understands this, to pass a lie detector test or fail, to pass you need a +3 or more, and to fail you need to fail a -3 or more. You were a -28. So, like, off the charts lying, okay? So I'm gonna give you a chance to tell the truth and say, yes, I beat my son.
I can't do that because I know I was not.
Okay.
I was at work.
And with that, I hope the police will reopen this case.
I do too.
And look at you, and with that, you can get the hell off my stage.